Okay, so what we're looking at here is the main boom lift ram assembly. So this is the object of the game, is to lift this arm up. Okay, so we've got this point here, which is our pivot, and we've got this lug here is our lifting spot for a ram to lift this up. So it's a lifting eye, and we've got another point here which was the original anchor bracket to screw the ram up manually. So I've cut a little window out as well for the motor to pivot around. So the plan is to mount an N20 motor, again it's 500 RPM, so set that into there, and this motor housing's got two little lugs on it, and that's designed to sit in there and rotate, pivot in that original mounting. So if I hold my finger on, you see the underside, how it protrudes through, but leaving enough clearance for the steering mechanism. So that's all at the right height. Now we've got to work out the length, the boom ram length and travel. The screw thread is cut just short of the hole where the mounting is going to go through. So that's basically the screw thread cut to length. The next part of that ram assembly is this here, which is just an extension tube off a aerial. So I've drilled it and made an end cap, so that will sit inside that there, the eye of the lifting bracket, and I should be using an M4 standoff. Okay, so I've trimmed down the aerial tube, or the antenna tube, so that's screwed in from the outside now, and that's what it looks like on the inside. So that's our top mount, or our top bearing. So if we put that back into the hinge bracket, then put these two together temporarily, slide the arm down, so we've got the ram in there, and see the motor in his housing, and can see a few screw threads at the end of the motor there, and that will be taken up with the hexagonal M4 hexagonal driver. So we're okay on length on the tube, and we can try it out roughly. Keep lifting until the end of the tube drops out. So yeah, that's a fair lift on that. That's more than enough. So we'll go over to the lathe and then turn this down so that that will fit inside that tube. So it's basically knocking off the corners, and we'll set that in a little bit and have a little bit of a shoulder on the outside so that this slides over and butts up against the end. Okay, fresh off the lathe, so we've just thrown this together temporarily just to check the length of it, and everything's fine. So all it's got to do now is just run a very slight bead of super glue around this brass thing here. And we'll push those two together till that butts right up there, and that's it. That is enough to hold those two bits together. So we'll let that set overnight, and that'll be a nice strong joint. We can actually assemble this. Next part would be this tail. So this is effectively the outer part of the ram, so the outside tube, and it's made in a way, it's got a couple of little tiny ramps on it, so these two corners are actually chamfered. Push that in to lock that into position. We've got it in its holder now, and it locks in, so by pushing it in at an angle, it's actually locked in behind this ridge at the front. We can screw that on the end now. Like so. So it's good speed, good control, so I think that'll work out just right.